And hello. We are back. ESA time, baby. We are back with season 9. Hello, dear esports friends. Are you ready for this first play day off the Swiss stage? My name is Mighty, and I'm gladly joined by the one and only Major and Mena star, Dianic.
That introduction, I really told you not to do so, but welcome, guys. Welcome to season 9, as you already said it. Gladly to be back here again, also with you. We've been a duo for quite a while now when it comes to the ESA Cup tournaments. I cannot wait for today. I cannot
Me neither.
wait.
Me neither. And we
So,
got ourselves one of the more, I would say, it could potentially be a run over. We will tell you why a little bit. But we have seen teams here in the qualifiers the past weeks that have been presenting themselves quite good and not so well. But there have been a lot of time taking grounds taken care of that you can proceed your strats and also work over them. So I'm glad to see what these teams can bring. And of course, we got ourselves the first play day. That also means we have the more, I would say unbalanced matchup. We got ourselves the first team out of and after the qualifiers against a place number 16th. That is potentially a big risk, but everything is makeable. We saw it last season. Every single time the underdogs can come back, and if they come back, they come real strong. But here we got something completely different. But I'm hyped. I'm definitely hyped.
I can only agree with you, and I would say let's have a look at our bracket. How's it looking? How is everything a little bit functioning? Because you just mentioned we have a pretty potential of it of a run over here. Like always, we've seen this bracket before. You know how it works, especially from the last season. Winner go up against winner on the top part, and losers go against losers in the lower part. It's always best of threes, so the teams have always have a chance for more maps. Not only one map, but they have to present themselves. And you can see in the top part, if you win 3 matches in a row, 3 best of 3s, you then qualified. If you go down and lose 3 matches, that's when you're eliminated. Same procedure like last season. Nothing has changed too much. And Mighty, what matchup do we have today?
We got ourselves the match of PIB against Team Master. We got ourselves two completely new teams, new built up rosters. One team from France that is in the hands of Team Master, and we got ourselves the Italian team in the hands of PIB. Of course, we spoke about that this is a very unbalanced matchup, reading from the stats. Stats doesn't mean everything. Yeah, this is a thing that we might need and have to find the directions, but it isn't declaring everything. But if of the map that we have seen so far, and also the course through the qualifiers, we got ourselves a pretty strong PIB with 60 matches in, with only 2 losses. That means something. They only lost 2 maps and complete 18 maps played. That's meaning something. That's harsh to deal against and also play against. Meanwhile, Team Masters have been very up and down. They only won 6 and lost 8 in the qualifiers. So not pretty well deserved out of the moment, but there's a lot of work that they have done and put in also in the break between the beginning of the Swiss stage and also the qualifiers. So I'm pretty much happily to see what these teams can bring. Both teams like to play the more bigger maps and also the semi bigger maps. Very comforted on those maps, with PIB, of course, being the big horse there. They only lost 2 times when playing on big maps, never lost on semi big maps, and they only lost twice. Not only once on a small more standard map. That's Clubhouse. They lost that one. But else in the team of Team Master, they have pretty much won sometimes, lost sometimes on the same maps. Very close, not so close some oftentimes. The wins were very close, and the losses some often were very, very declaring. They lost like 7-6, uh, they lost 7-3, they lost 7-2. So there's a lot of ups and downs there. But I also won quite harsh matches with 7-8, with a huge comic coming in back then. Let's see what these teams can bring, I would pretty much say. But to have a competition, we need to see PIB is currently on a 10-match winning streak. Meanwhile, Team Master just
Holy.
won their last one with one map, and that was against probably first round with a 7-4 on Clubhouse.
The
When we are
10
talking about
rounds.
Clubhouse, we're talking
10
about
rounds is
Clubhouse.
definitely. Definitely big. As you said, Clubhouse, you've mentioned it here and there a little bit. But before we go there, just a second before we go there, what is the predictions? What do we think? What do the community thinks?
Yeah.
What is actually happening? Because you've just talked so much about statistics and going on and everything. What the people say? Who's gonna take this? And I think it isn't, as you said, from the statistics given. It's also a little bit one-sided when it comes to the prediction sides. It's going to be the Italians. Actually, it's going to be PIB having the upper hand in the predictions. Now, I know I know we have been waiting for this. We're waiting for this after we've seen a bracket, after we've seen a prediction, after we had the statistic talk. Mighty, why don't you take us over the map ban?
Let's slide through the map, and we got ourselves the brands of the bigger maps that isn't in the favorite of the teams that they have played recently. Layer not been played once. Bank, the more hardest map the team has to face. So these maps out of the pool. Of course, other maps that they haven't played that well or that often, like Skyscraper for Master, never played it. Meanwhile, Consulate, a map that they have been struggling on as a head of PIB, but still always won. So they're going back to the more standard maps and also like the semi-scale maps, with Clubhouse being the more standard map that we still have in the running pool, because Oregon is finally gone. I need to say it, finally gone. And we have the semi-scale big maps like Chalet and Border. Border, of course, being the cider map if we shall see a one-on-one after 2 maps. For my sake, yes, in the social votes, I went on to Team Master because, hey, come on, give the underdog a little bit of love. But still, from the prognosis, especially when we see the maps that we are currently seeing here, PIB will be a very hard opponent of eyes. Because Clubhouse, very unique playstyle, also very hard to beat, and Chalet, very controlling. It's an insanely controllable team, especially on Chalet.
You just said it, but I'm gonna have to give you a little bit credit, sir, because, and I'm gonna agree with you, it is the underdogs at the end of the day who can give big upsets. If you look at it, it happens everywhere. If you look at it in Tier 4, Tier 3, Tier 2, and also in Tier 1, do I have to just remind everybody, last UL, we had Ends, for example, winning against BDS. So I know it's hardly Griffin, I know it's way up there, but even on the top tier level, it happens that an underdog team can take out one of the Titans. So it could be like today that one of the underdog teams takes the victory, throws down a champion, puts them down on the allure bracket. But Mighty, you've talked about statistics. You've talked about you like the underdogs and everything. Do you think, are we gonna see 3 maps? What is your prediction? Don't worry too much about statistics. What feeling do you have? Do you really think it's all about the statistics, or is there maybe a chance that we might see more, we might see less?
As I always like to say, there are always 2 things to keep in mind. It's never too late and never say never. But in this case, I'm saying PIB 2-0s. I'm pretty convinced of that. Not because of the stats that I just read through and also read myself into on Wikipedia.
Sure?
But I looked at the maps and I'm pretty convinced this could be a 2-0. And if not, it's a well-deserved overtime and also decider. But I don't think Master is capable enough to do this on their first playday, because playing against the first guy or the first team after qualifiers in the first playday is very hard, especially when you had such a long break between the stages.
Well, we definitely cannot wait for that. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to throw us in a little bit of a break. The teams are not quite ready yet. I'm sorry, guys. Go grab yourself a little bit of a popcorn. We'll be back in a second. Don't run away. The game will start very soon. And here we are into the game of Clubhouse on the first day of Swiss, as we are heading into the game. You guys saw that the game has now started, and here we are with you, presenting you the first map, Clubhouse. Mighty, the bands. We can see we're starting, let's say, a round into the game. What happened, Mighty? Take us over. What happened during the tag time?
Okay, what happened is that one of the teams were not meeting up as the scheduled time, so we have one round giving away by Team Master so far. As so that means that PIB will begin with a lead of 1-0, and we have seen the bans so far with a Monty being banned, a Brava being banned, Goyo being banned, also a Azami. So, yes, we are on Clubhouse. Monty ban, Azami ban, Raptors is a pure weapon with these two operators. Definitely good bans. On Brava, a lot of hackable gadgets. We already seen it with the Melusi and build-ups. Completely fine. So, completely understandable operators. Let's just see how they build up this first round.
Looks like we find ourselves on the basement floor. We're not going to be needing any Azami nor Monty. Yes, we're ready to speak and you could go. The Goyo's going to hurt a little bit, not going to lie. But we have the mirror, we have other operators that compromise for loss of the ones that have been banned. But it is the basement spot, as we all like and know it. It's going to be very defender side, and now with the attacking side starting with a round advantage, that's going to actually benefit them quite a lot, considering if they now can pick up a few more. As you said, they tend to be the favorites, they tend to be the stronger ones. If they continue to get even more points, well then that could be quite a detailed quick match.
Definitely could, and if you just look in the pure force that they're already bringing, there's no scary factors after all. Just completely, okay, I'm going in garage, doors open, and I'm going in. There's like no second thoughts about it, so they're really pumped, they're ready. So I'm just looking in to see where the first opening frag will land, because all of the pure pace that we've just already seen, it could potentially go into PIB, but it surely could also go in the hands of Mxster if PIB is not watching their 6.
As you mentioned, a lot of ground has already been taken on the side of the attack. So slowly but steady we're setting up. We need to make sure that our preparations are set for the execute. These mirror windows are going to make it a little bit more difficult. And also the Warden, as we have a Ying on the board. So her Candelas are not going to do any damage to the Warden. But where's the Warden plays, where's the execute going to happen? Because Kitchen so far is still closed. But Moto Hatch is open and we're just waiting for this execute. As the first few swings come in, so the flashbangs and bees are coming through. The first kill happens, but it's only one of many more that need to come as Mirwin is being pushed from left, right, and center. Kills happen all over the entire map as everything crumbles apart. The defensive is left in a 2v2. There is one attacker still trying to push, but it's a double kill and potentially triple on the board, and that's how easy it can go. The defense stands up and gets the victory on the basement spot.
Victory on the basement spot, yes. Very well defended, but a very shaky in the midsection there. Luckily, there was definitely a team miscommunication because the push onto that Vamai was not coordinated. If they coordinated that right, there was an easy pick on that Vamai. So they would have gone a complete clearance on Church. Maybe also he wasn't droned out correctly, so they needed some more intel. They had the time to do that. Maybe a little flaw there in the first playable round or played round. But there's still a lot of ground to take on to deal that. Of course, basement is a very hard spot to win in the attack. They managed to find a way to enter it quite well. Also pick them out quite early on. So I'm happy to see where this can go, because that's what was not granted for Team Mxster after all.
What can they take onto this round? If not on the basement spot, which, let's be honest guys, should have been the victory for the defensive side. It is the basement spot, you always go in clubhouse, you go downstairs, it favors the defensive side, it has the highest winning rate when it comes to defensive, so they should have won it no matter what. And they did, good for them, and now we move on to the next two bomb sites, which are not that one-sided. Can they fix the problems? As you said, it was a little bit wanky there in the middle. That Womai definitely not quite well coordinated. Can they fix these problems on the attacking side to get even more attacks in, to make this a quick round for them? Because at the end of the day, Clubhouse is a checklist map, and if you fail that checklist, then you lose a lot of rounds.
You not only lose a lot of rounds, but you also lose momentum, and you also make the opponents gain that momentum. And as I've told them, checklist map as Clubhouse, if you let the opponents gain momentum, you're off for a damn ride.
Taking a kill here quite early in the round is going to position them quite well. Take another castle. Could have been a different operator for more damage, but it's a gun that I have lost now. And now we have the advantage favoring the attacking side. Kamikaze is looking for this trade, but is not going to be able to. He is being pressured from a few sides. He's just waiting to get this kill in. But unfortunately, he's unable to move out of this position. From the looks of it, we have also now main breach established and opened. As Mxster Rance is in the gym. Another kill happens on the other side. We have the trade offer happening. Back to 4v4. And so far, we have not managed to get control over Cash.
Taking a long time there, but Cash is the first key position that they need to gain. They also scared away Kamikaze that while, so Cash is now finally lost in the hands of Mxster and gained by PIB, but PIB had to pay a long price on Timo, dropping down with the Ash.
As flashbangs come through, and as we can see, trying to execute this plan is gonna happen beautifully as he falls down, and now we have the man advantage yet again secured from the attacking team. Now, as you said, Cash a very important position to take, but with that, they've also gained construction and potential logi. As the drop comes through, we have the information. Just barely running away, not dying to the player playing on the main stairs. And with that, we have logi.
That we have logi, and also the flanks coming in by Glock, putting our Kamikaze out of his misery.
Push through logi. Unable to get the kill, as you said. Atrocious positioning there. The swing through, not quite connecting the headshot on the one existing player, but the ace comes through, gets the final kill in the round, and that is the second, actually the third round that we see. The second round we're seeing, third round has been played to the attacking side.
Very well deserved win here for the attacking side, because they played very well as a unit. They said, okay, we're going to force pressure on them from garage and also come from the double breach into server or CCTV. They pushed on in from that side, went on in, got very early on their attention from Cash, knocked the castle off his feet, and just pushed on through. They played as a unit. They also gained a lot of intel with drone work and also dropping on multiple sides. And as I told, they got a key position into Cash, and immediately everything crumbled and fell apart. Cash fell, construction fell, logic fell. Also, the way it fell, he just knocked out every single of these defending operators out of their spots, out of their corners. Then they needed to move, they needed to run away, and with that, you also gain positions to hunt themselves. And as I already told earlier, that Team PIB needs to watch their 6 if there's coming flanks in. The flanks came, but they were clocked out, they were called in, and that way, PIB just absolutely rocks them off their feet. No chance for Mxster to win that.
5 seconds left.
Beautifully said and also beautifully attacked. But it is the second attacking round. They would already have the default attacks secured, which is on Clubhouse. It's a default swap on the 4-2, favoring the defense side, obviously. Now they have 2 attacks. Potentially, if they push more, they're gonna get more on the board, have an easier time on the defensive side. So that's what they're looking forward here to do. And it looks on the side of the defensive, not too much swapping around. We know it could have worked. Again, as you said, losing a player quite early in the round was a big cause why they were able to secure so much ground and space so quickly. As we already pushed through, trying to do the same thing as before, unable to connect quite the shots on the head. But here we have it within 40 seconds of the round. We have garage with CCTV, and also we've destroyed so much utility. It's going to be way easier take this grounds in the round before, because now we know where the utility is and what we need, but the C4 is going to make it a little bit more tougher as it takes out one player.
Located by attackers.
C4 from below, come on guys. This is old school Siege. This is what we know. There's a lot of rockable floor, and if you can, you so do, and that way we lost ourselves the first guy against the C4. Beautiful watcher on Glock that happily survives that scenario with the Fenrir not hitting his bullets.
Oh, shotgun close range just slipped through. He has information. You can see the gun barrel. The swing comes through and beautifully taken out. Was quite dangerous there though, because we all know shotgun close range can be tough. On the other side, we have the trades offer happening, but beautifully played from the highways, making sure these players cannot rotate the rounds, taking them out one by one, positioning ourselves here again on the man advantage, leaving Kamikaze and Ren as last 2 defenders. With a Frost and a Dog, potentially we could stim ourselves up. Is that really the good play here?
But just look at the positioning.
Exactly. Positioning quite well, trying to support each other from the bond chassis, but have to be careful about this Logi. Stock just, hopping around, trying to position himself in a good spot. He knows one of them is Elise and Logi, one is on the windows, but where's the slot for third person? We find ourselves now also in gold, taking a little bit of control. In the last 30 seconds, the execute needs to happen now or never, because when the time ticks out, they can't do anything. Kamikaze finds one player. On the other hand, we find ourselves already in gym. The trade-off happens on the other side. It's all up to Kamikaze. Flashbangs come through, beautifully execute and waited, and we had enough util at the end of the round. And this is what they're doing quite well so far.
Beautifully done, and I really much need to say, PIB is doing their executes perfectly. Like I just witnessed and also saw, Frost and both Doc were trying to roam and just move around, finding a position where they just could anchor and hold a little bit from multiple angles. But there was no position where they ever could position themselves in. They would leave then in a safe spot. Doc went into the hallway. Breach behind him is completely open. One is in Logi, one is in gym window. There's no clearance where there. The only pure space that you had was showers. And you saw what happened to Frost. You can recover yourself with the showers, but you're not surviving there. It's beautiful execute. Coming from multiple angles, watching every single angle that is potentially given to PIB, and beautiful execute. Nothing more to say about that.
Quite well done, and also, as you said, it's just worked out perfectly, right? We had the cut-off rotations, we knew what the utils placed, we knew what we had to do, like in a book. And I love it. I absolutely love the last rounds, and it just shows what much of a power team and why they haven't lost a single game in 10 matches so far. And I think right now it is a little bit of a wake-up call here for the Frenchies. Because they need to wake up. 3-1 is not a position you want to be, especially when you are on the defensive side. You actually want to have the round advantage, and so far it's looking tough, but we are back in the basement spots. And what do you think, Mighty?
I would say hopes are high because it is the only spot that they have won so far. But if you just keep in mind how close it was, and the main factor why it was given to Mxster and thrown away by PIB was because of non-well communication in between the team members. That we have seen have been concluded in round 2 and 3 so far, and also round number 4. So I don't really much see ground for Mxster to have high odds. They will try their best, but PIB will look strong.
Ooh, beautifully. Kai tricked one of the can openers that we have. Seems like Moto's gonna stay close for a little bit longer there as the vertical gameplay starts happening now. So far, only a minute has passed, and this is what I've been noticing. They are quite quick. They know and have seen how utils is being used, and on the other hand, in the next round, they're just gonna speed up the process. First round, they were a little bit slow when taking the top floor because they had to check, is there roam with somebody, is there not? Now knowing that every person is on site, they can just quickly take it, and that's exactly what they did. 1 minute 30, they've established every control they need. So far, the hatches are still close when it comes to Moto and Kitchen.
Yeah, so far they have been struggling a little bit against these Cade walls. Cade is very much one of the biggest impactors so far for the hands of Mxster, as he is applying his claws very actively, making it very hard for Team PIB to hunt those out, as if they are building up their place. A lot of just knocking down that utility and also the gadgets from the defenders.
What an unfortunate Yin Candela there, just hitting the foot of the teammate, and then it just rolls away. Slurp finds a kill, the trade happens also on the other side as well, a few kills left and right, and now we have the defense again in the man disadvantages. We have the intel sound, there is somebody in mode, so it's a Kaid, and he potentially has a C4 as well, making it a little bit more difficult in a very key position to take it out as we drop down, go for the rotate, get another kill, leaving out Kaid, one player just mentioned in a 1v3 scenario. Still has a C4, gets a kill, and finds this player, and a 1v2 is being left, but unfortunately it's going to be the cross angle from the enemy team from PIB. It's going to take him out, and now that is the defensive round inside lost. The adaptation from the attacking side so far is honestly absolutely beautiful.
Just to keep things very clear here, this is the pure maintenance so far. Team Mxster is completely trying everything that they got, roaming a little bit around, trying to play active against these hatches to just make sure they need to come from the stairways or coming through tunnel or blue, because they had mirror windows on those spots to just play those against. But it doesn't work because PIB does it very smart. They first will use their first drones to gather intel. Okay, where are you going to place a utility? Where are you going to place gadgets? Find that utility. Next step is destroying it. And they do it on a very tactical basis because they say, okay, we need to figure out ways to clean those things out because these are in our approach ways, and we have that approach way, and we will also conclude in those approaches. We're not turning around from all plan A so far. And that works perfectly fine as PIB has the right operator attached so far to their build-ups. Give no grounds for the defenders to just gather their intel and gather their gadgets as the conclusion of the rounds, and just completely screaming and shattering them away, just making them run for their lives from their spots that they're holding, because it doesn't work to just stand still and hold against PIB.
Maybe we find ourselves on the last round. And that's the last round for Team Mxster's defense. After this, they're gonna go to the attacking side. And we find ourselves in a 4-1 scenario. Not quite looking too great so far for them, but if they can get this round, a few things can change. But what do they need to do for that? We can see there's a few adaptations coming through. We have the Vigil not picked up. But is that really going to be the play? We've lost our Legion. We've adapted a few operators. C4 comes through, not going to find anyone, and that's the Mirror gone.
Oh, unfortunate blind.
Gonna take a little bit of time off, but here again, look at the time. 2 minutes and 5 seconds. And we've already have every control we need. We're top floor, we're opening up the hatches, we've already opened up the hatch. And there's no fight back from Team Mxster so far.
And altogether, not to forget about that, we also have the pure intel that there's no one that has roamed above the ceiling, the first ground level, as of the beginning of the round. Yeah, of course, we have the Vigil that roamed away now, just close before they entered, and now he's completely droned off, and there's no way for him to roam back down freely, because he's getting hunted now.
No way to will kick back. Potentially there is garage and oil pit, but that is very dangerous. He's on the top floor. They definitely need to deal with him now or never, and need to push him back down. From the looks of it, he can just slip right through.
No,
they were covering, but in that second, they were already waiting for his arrival. As we swing around, Glock finds one, finds the second one at the top. Just everything crumbles apart one by one as we leave our Warden in a 1v5 scenario. And in the last defensive rounds, we've tried to fight back, we tried to do a little bit of roaming, it didn't quite work out. And now we're left in a little bit of an unrecoverable position as we are being taken out and we are being pushed up to a 5-1, 4 rounds disadvantage from the side of Team Mxsters. Now this is looking like an unrecoverable spot.
Just like looking at the pure positionings still from PIB. Yes, you outspotted that Vigil. You know for a fact that he will try to roam back and flank you, maybe get you back from behind from your 6. Immediately, the sounds get called. Okay, push on closer to side and cut off his entryways. Yes, you're told there's potentially a way to, through garage, through Oracle, to connect back onto spot. But you saw what happened. Glock was already pushing down these blue stairs from Bell's side and just completely knocked him off his feet. Yes, of course, it was a close range gunfight, but Glock is just way too quick. He hatches out the mirror at first and then gets the Vigil from the second hand. Just a pure menace. That guy is a monster, let's be honest.
I mean, he just casually swings in, right? We saw it. He's just like, listen, I know there's a Vigil loose on the roam, but I have a gunfight I need to take first. Takes the right one, says, yeah, I had to auto drop. I know he's coming for me. Swings on the left, gets a double, and just moves forward. Absolutely unstoppable so far, and as you said, a machine. Can't really say anything against it. But now we have the all good switcheroo. The attackers become the defenders, and the defenders become the attackers. A 5-1, looking really tough. We find ourselves in the basement spot. Again, highlighted a little bit. It's a spot that usually goes to the defensive side. And if now PIB wins this round, that would mean they would be already on the match point. And as we all know, as soon as it's match point, you're not allowed a single mistake if you want to have a comeback. And that is looking dangerous. Mighty, I'm just gonna ask you this once for all on this one map here. Are we gonna see a comeback? Do you think does Mxster have it in them? What do they need to change for that?
I don't think that they have it in it because PIB just looks way too strong. They look completely locked in on these rounds, like not giving away any type of life signs for them to clutch up or just push themselves up a little bit. And there are multiple things that they need to figure out in the hands of Mxster. There's a lot of aggressiveness that I'm missing. It could potentially be a big impactor. Just meeting a little bit more aggressive, meeting a little bit more cocky, just to face them. Like, come on, face me, try me. That I'm missing that completely, and there's also a lot of team communication, like misplacement, that I'm missing completely out here.
Well, that team play definitely comes in strong from PIB, as we have 2 men already fallen from Team Masters. It's our Hiban and our Ash, our hard support, our hard breacher is now gone and taken out as a first. Luckily though, we have already opened up a few hatches and a little bit of vertical gameplay.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
But also meaning we've lost 1 C4 out of potential 3 that we have from the defensive side, but we use it for a kill, we use it for a good deed.
Attackers bomb diffuser has
As we
been
just
dropped.
keep on killing. And now we are in a 2-5, and it's not looking too good. And yeah, they might not have it in them right now. There's a few things that need to change. But as you said to them, they are the underdog. They could be throwing off this team. Maybe not on Clubhouse here, but potentially on other maps. Ooh. They're challenging each other from that pixel peak. Trying to get each other with just a quick one-tap.
Just purely saying, Glock just forced and faced that with a holo side against the 2-5 side, and is the only guy that found hits on a pixel.
He just has it in him. He just has it.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
He just knows. He just knows. As we do route it up to the kitchen, we find a straight block is there. The player we just highlighted is already there to save the day. Finds a kill for the second. He's on the hand, ready for it, but the C4 is already waiting and has his name written all over it. Now that is already the match point for PIB on this first map on Clubhouse. And I think we're gonna be sent back to second map quite quickly, Mighty. I'm having a little bit of doubts here.
For my sake, I'm just getting more and more convinced by PIB here for every single second that's clocking down. Like, you just saw what PIB did in their attack against Mxster. Just made the move, go around, roam around, like, because there is no split second where it just could stand still without being faced or being forced, like, okay, I'm coming for you. Meanwhile, PIB is looking like, okay, this is a Sunday evening on the couch. I can just chill wherever I want and do whatever I want. There's like the force amount that is being brought by Mxster is just not enough, and it's a little bit too slow paced and also a little bit too passive for my sake to make PIB to say, okay, we got to take this seriously. We got to play completely focused on, make this clear, because just looking at how Glock just played these past rounds was immediately like, okay, I'm in your face, and I'm happy to be in your face. And that way, I just really don't see any type of way for Mxster to just pull that out without them being a little more aggressive.
I feel like they're a little bit scared, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's like, if you know you're playing against a strong opponent, sometimes, even when it comes to just simple casual players, you know you have a strong opponent against you, you tend to be a little bit more careful how you peek, you play a little bit more scared, more reserved, more passive, as you said, and that can resolve in losing gunfights, that can resolve in not taking gunfights. As we can see, they want to be quick here, but we're already waiting. We didn't have the information. This castle player, if he already takes out the first player from Team Masters. So it's exactly what you mentioned. They want to be careful, they want to be clean when it comes to their takes, but sometimes you just have to be aggressive. So you have to show that you can fight back and get these kills, as we have the trade-off for now. We took out the bandits, which is also C4, so that is already one of 3 C4s we need to take out for a potential plan deny. Few more things I need to achieve here, but it's a good start.
It is a good shot, it's definitely, because Luca is the main fragger here. But still, once again, I just wanted to lift off as Luca was standing completely in front of the window, knowing for a fact there's one guy coming garage window, and just knocks him off his feet. Meanwhile, the same intel was given to the attacker, and he just purely does pre-aiming, but doesn't pre-fire. I just don't understand the way it matters.
But sometimes we don't need to understand anything, as the cookie just crumbles one by one. I guess the aggression is biting back a little bit as we find ourselves in a 1v4, taking out one player, bringing it back down to a 1v4, 1v3. It's all up to one player from PIB to take this victory as he finds himself another kill, potentially a few more, as he knows at least one of these players is outside the windows. He's not being full flash. Finds the triple as he turns around into Logi. Now left in a 1v1 with 8 HP, but let's not forget it's a one-shot headshot game. All it takes is a single bullet to reach the enemy opponent's head first, and he would get the victory. If it's a trade offer, he would get the victory because the plan is not down. So in order for the attacking side to win here, they need to get this plan down and they need to find this last standing kill, or to find a kill without a trade. The time ticks down slowly but steady. We have the information what this player is. He's also being quite loud, so giving away his position. The information is there. We know he's around this corner. Just waiting for the swing. Taking a little bit of damage, not quite dealing anything. It all takes is a single bullet anywhere in the foot, in the head. And PIB would be sent to another round in another pig face. Time ticks down, 10 seconds left. He's pushed in, but beautifully swings around the corner, finds the final kill in this round. And this is the first fight back. And Mighty, do you think this could be potential more rounds, or was this a little bit of a slipperoo from PIB?
I think it was a chain of unlucky happenings, because we got 2 wall bangs, or one lucky push-up that was from a guy that was completely locked in on another position, like on the double breach from CCTV that got killed from the red stairs. Then we got ourselves a double kill coming in then from these red stairs with a conclusion wall bang from cash into construction. I would say it was a lucky outcomes for Mxster and unlucky outcomes for PIB. But just look at the pure force that also Cloxy looked very calm, very chilled out in that scenario. Yes, he didn't clutch it up and win that round for Mxster, but the pure menace of just being able to withstand and say, okay, I got 8 HP left and I got 1.5 guy left to kill. It's just impressive how easily calm that he went. And also the close peek on the single door from Mxster into the hallway, where he's dealing damage on the thermite and thermite is not hitting a single bullet. I thought for a split second we were seeing a pixel bang from Cloxy to clutch that round out. So I'm not convinced.
It was quite dangerous. I was very convinced that round might be the last round, especially after the 180 flip. Being flashbanged, just like, you know what, I'm just gonna turn around this and just take out this person's logic. But that's in the past. The Team Masters, they secured themselves another round. And potentially, hopefully, many more to come. From what we saw from the last round, showing aggression, showing you're not scared to take these gunfights can deal great damage. And can also put you and give you a victory. Definitely there at the end. No need to bring it down to a 1v1 from a 1v4. But they got the round. That's what matters here. Because they stay alive for one more round. And we find ourselves back on the same spot, back on the same position. Will this be last round? Or maybe another comeback, Manny? What do you think?
Potentially seen, this is a spot that they dealt and gained very early on a lot of advantage, as we saw the round prior. But still, there's a lot of things that you need to be clearance on. The intel is not fast enough as Timo finds the first kill. I'm not convinced. I'm sticking with it. I'm not convinced. I think that this will lock out Team Mxster once and for all in round number 9.
Ooh, okay. We have the predictions coming through. Another player falls and is being injured as they're trying to desperately take out Grim. The swings come along. 2 people fall, but unfortunately both of them against Team Masters. It's all left up to one player. Again in a 1v4 as he finds another kill. Finishes off the down person. And it still remains a 1v4. That was the person who's not counting. But there's enough time for him to bring down the man count and potentially isolate a lot of these kills. The problem is he is on very low HP. The Warden is just running outside, wanting to get a kill. Fortunately, his opponent is already waiting on the door, for the final kill in the round, and that is the first map going to the sides of PIB as they secure Clubhouse in this best of 3. You'll be seeing a few more maps, hopefully all the way to a third map, but from the looks of it, this first map promises, like you mentioned, and like suspected, and like the statistics say, a little bit of a one-sided match.
Yes, it showed us what these teams are made of, that's for sure. I would say it showed us a little bit more about PIB than Team Master, because Master wasn't quite getting any openings to show us their playstyle that well. Because just as I mentioned, PIB had the playstyle in the attack of we are going to come in your face and just be standing there and just meet you up that way, not giving you any type of square inch to move around freely. They did the same thing in the defense, not let them come in closer than they wanted them to in the attack. And so there's a lot of things that Master need to figure out ways, and also new type of approach ways to find some adaptations here for the second map coming in. Yes, of course, Clubhouse was the pick of Team PIB. Now we're going to the map pick of Master. So hopes are high. Yes, we still have one more map where they can show themselves before we go to a potential decider map. But as of the things that we just saw, I don't really think there's a lot of things that they can clear out in that few time being spent left. As PIB is just, I said it once before, I will say it again, they look completely locked in. They want these points. They want to come up in that higher bracket side with a 1-0, not in the 0-1 section. So I don't think that we will see much from Master. Sorry.
But who knows, maybe after a quick break, the team can gather their thoughts and just talk about what actually happened in the round. We pointed out a few things, especially Mighty pointed out a few things that need to change for match and map number 2. But before we get to the second map, we're gonna throw you guys in a little bit of a break, grab a little bit of popcorn, grab a little bit of drinks. We'll be back shortly, soon as we're ready for the second map. See you guys soon. And here we are back with the second game, which is going to be the second map. We've seen the first map on Clubhouse was a clean sweep 0-7-1. We apologize for the very, very long pause. I hope you guys haven't run away yet. I hope you guys were able to cook up another pop of popcorn, get yourself a little bit of drinks as well on the other side. A little bit of issues with the lobby settings. Wasn't able to get all the players in, but now we're ready. We have the players here finally, and hopefully we can keep every 10 players in this lobby and we don't have to rehost. I hope I didn't jinx it now. But we're going into
Caster's curse.
Caster's curse. Already cursed it. Jesus. Never give me the mic, Mighty. You know it. Chalet, second map. What are we thinking, Mighty?
What am I thinking? We're going to Chalet, a mid-scale big map with a lot of breakable floorage. We saw C4s coming in from below from both teams on the first map, so I'm quite enjoyed to say that I am happy to see more of those, because I only saw 2 last map and I'm hoping for more. But if we just look more into these operator bans, Brava already banned last map. Ying, of course, we got a lot of windows, a lot of doorways where we enter these spots or building inside from the first entries. So definitely understandable that we are banning those out, making it a little bit more harsh and harder to enter those close range areas from these windows. Mira banned out, especially for Ba. Definitely understandable. Such a good weapon in Ba and also in Kitchen and Azami. These keeper barriers, even though they've been nerfed, still such a good weapon for making very silly and also very ugly angles.
Well, we're not going to create any one of these, as all these operators are banned and gone. Now, as you mentioned, there were quite a lot of C4s, but a lot of these C4s were connected, more favored by PIB. They were more successful in connecting the C4s, getting C4 kills. Maybe we're gonna see a few of these. We definitely have 2 to 3 operators who could bring C4s. We have currently 2 C4s from Tubaru and Kaid. Gordon decided to bring the shield, and Goy decided to bring the impact. And that means we could potentially already have 2 out of 5 kills based only on C4s, but we're gonna have to see how that works out as we find ourselves on the top side.
By attackers.
Office and master bedroom. We bring the ram, potentially to deny a lot of
10 seconds remaining.
intel sounds when it comes to it, because ram not only does she open up quite a lot of space when it comes to verticality, but also her gadget is so loud, mighty. It's unbelievably how loud it is. Last round we didn't see any cheeky spawn peaks. From the looks of it, we're not going to be seeing any on this match.
That's for sure, but we still have a lot of noisemakers in the hands of still our dear friend Brava. As I just previously last week saw in the Oceania League, that team, I can't remember which team it was, used those ram buggies to cover up the sound of a planting. But still, we got ourselves a first round out.
And it was a trade on the other hand as we swing along, get another cheeky look. And we were not ready for this operator to be so close. Even though you can throw the ram buggy in, you have to activate it to take away the sound. It does not activate by itself. Those are 2 operators gone, Ram and Ash. And looks of it, we're just waiting to enter the side even more. As there's Ace also now swinging around the corner. Is going to find himself a double kill on the board, potentially a triple. He's going to be traded out from behind from Slam. And we're left in a 2v2. Within the first minute, we've lost 6 members of the entirety. 10. And we've lost also 1 of the 2 C4s. We have 2 Gory charges on the same doorway. Quite interesting play. C4s out, no more C4s, no more plant deny. We know at least one person is on that window swinging around. Need to support our teammate here, as we have no information where could this other player be. We're rotating around, trying to create a little bit of angles and coverage to our teammate who's still playing on site, still trying to hold down site onto office and not trying to give it away to the enemies. But unfortunately, the diffuser has been dropped on site from the Ace. As I lays beautifully behind the desk, they need to get this diffuser in their hands. We push forward, see the player doing a little bit of damage, not quite enough here for a kill. As we swing around the corner, trade happens, and we're left in a 1v1. But it is the swing, and it is the shotgun at the end with the ACOG on top. That's Skate taking the kill, and PIB taking the first round of defense.
Yeah, and I still got to stick to PIB and say they're still the kings of making these scenarios work for themselves. They're always in good positions to just be on time when it is about to use scenarios for your advantage. Yes, of course, you lose someone in an opening, but you still can refrag him. And this, once again, you get double angled, you get the gridlock, need to trade off that the castle, I mean, and immediately the kite is close enough to just bring a new swing in to just refrag onto the floors. Like, the pure positioning of PIB is so strong because they always think 2 steps ahead. If I am in the position of that, am I able to help my friend out or my teammate out if he is in danger? Yes or no? If the answer is no, I move to a position where I am. If the answer is yes, I can still be steady in this position. And the pure fact of them, when they stay in the position they're currently at, the calmness that they are admiring out to me, the presence that I feel from that, is just horrendous.
5 seconds left.
Round number 2, Mighty. I would love to see here Team Masters show us a different side, especially for the next coming rounds. 2 attacks, all they need. The first round was quite promising as we positioned our enemies in a 1v1, which did not quite happen so far. Yes, theoretically, if you look at it, on the first map we had a 1v4 bring back down to a 1v1. But this so far was one of the rather closest rounds we've seen. And I'm just hoping that we're going to be seeing more of these. This is the map for Team Masters. We could be seeing more closer rounds. And hopefully, potentially, more wins on their sides. But we are in kitchen. We're playing extended on the top floor.
Definitely found that rappling from the bug very interesting. Overhead on double window, still hanging there in the hands of Ryan. But let me tell you that we haven't seen a single entry on the site or on this map so far after 1 minute and 7, and I'm scared because this is terribly slow.
It is way slower than around before, I do have to agree with you. And 9 reinforcement is quite interesting. Normally you would do it on the other side, that as it gives more coverage. Stock's gonna find himself the first option picky. You just meant this round is going a little bit slow. Well, hate to break it to you, first kill just happened. Flashman's coming through, looking to get a few more kills. Potentially the trade offer here is not gonna be it. There's another player forward from Team Masters. We did manage to get ourselves all the way into library, but we've lost 2 players, potentially even more as he's swinging around. Trade comes through. We're being left on a 2v4 without not even having secured a top floor control, but rather only library in Meza, which we don't need this space that much. We rather need to have the office breach open, which we can't open anymore. I don't know how breach is as we lost our mighty Thermites. A swing comes along, beautifully taken out by Glock. It's all up to one person in 1v4. Highlighted how close the last round was. And so far we're running away again with so much manpower from PIB. Swinging around the big window onto K9. It's gonna be Glock waiting, ready and steady for the kill, as they secure themselves another victory on round number 2.
I called it upon. It was a terrible slow approach. I was in a missing part of saying, okay, they need to find more utility. They need to find more intel. One thing that they did very good here was that they positioned themselves in position where they can like help each other out and just say, okay, if you move on forward first, I will be in a position to just try and help you out with getting you a refrag if you're still getting fragged out. That worked perfectly fine here, but in the matter, we say, okay, you were down in dining kitchen. That means for that side, you need to take the key position up the top floor, that is office, withhold that, maybe charge it off so the defenders are not rolling back up. Then you need to open that double breach into dining area and maybe try to go for planter. That the approach onto the building came from fireplace, knocking both your Thatcher and also your Thermite off their feet, is not the way to go. PIB saw that opportunity, took it, and made Mxster definitely pay for that. So Mxster need to watch themselves for the approach ways that they're coming from.
5 seconds to go.
Definitely not. We move to the next bomb site. The entry points are gonna be different. We could be taking top floor, as you said. They have to be careful how they approach this. They could be going for a quick take. They could be going for a top floor take again. But here, they need to be quick with it. They need to make sure that they have the information they need, that they have the room and space they need. Especially in the last round, the key breach that they needed was office then onto kitchen, but losing an operator like Furman quite early in the round did bite them back a little bit. A few points already pointed out there. But from the looks of it, PIB, they're not ready to step down anymore. They want to make sure that they're up in front when it comes to the enemies. They want to make sure that the enemies know they exist on the entirety of the map, as they're already in solo fighting back, making sure that Team Masters, they're not getting any space nor entry points from the looks of it.
Definitely, and once more, we had ourselves the key position that you need to gain in the top level area, coming in from office, moving towards to library and also library stairs. The approach way coming into those sections are once again a little bit slow for my sake. Yes, we got some more drone intel going down. We need to find out the right intel, also the positionings. Meanwhile, we got ourselves a dropout in the hands of PIB, unluckily seen, but still nothing lost. Now we just need to see if Team Mxster finds their advantages, because this is a good opportunity to just put on more force, especially because the player falling through the roster was one of the guys holding top 4 stairs.
Unfortunately, we had a little bit of a disconnect. So we lost one of our players. Now we're back down to 3v5. We know at least one player there in the corner. Beautifully, also going to pick up the kill, but we don't know. Are we being pushed from behind? Clem is going to find a trade. Now back down to 2v4. Team Masters look like they're going to get this round. As the swing comes around, shotgun, not quite going to find the finishing touch here. As the swing around the corner, going to finish up the player, but we're being left in a 1v3. As the plan goes down, we have the information. Do we have the coverage? The swing around the corner, we find the kill as well, punishing the player. We drop down the hedge and secure the rounds, and Team Masters get a victory on the attack.
That way, we are back in cams. We got ourselves a small breaker, and I just wanted to point out one thing here very quickly: the amount of multi-kills that we are getting. It shows off that we are having more aggressiveness, especially for Master. That's one thing that impresses me because that was one of the things that I pointed out clearly in the first map. They're gaining more, I would say, advantages on that. They're putting on a lot of pressure there. That gives them the abilities and also the chances of getting those multi-kills. And when they have the opportunity, they also set them. Lem got one, Ryan got one, and also Tiziano got one. So I'm convinced they're playing a little bit better now, even though they're still in the lower hand, 2-1 down. But there's a lot of rounds still to come. It is their mapping, and I see that they're definitely feeling a little bit more comfortable, but not comfortable enough because PIB is not slowing down, as you mentioned, and I don't think they will, because they showed they will grant you an opening ceremony every single time you enter a doorway, and they will not leave that.
They'll definitely grant the opening ceremony, as you just said. Beautifully well said. They're just gonna take a little bit as we saw the disconnect happen, but we'll be back with the game in a few seconds. But before, I'm not gonna leave you guys, don't worry. We're not going anywhere. So are you. You're not going anywhere as well, because we're gonna keep you here for the next few, hopefully soon. Shouldn't be all too long. But Mighty, now we've seen these 3 rounds. We have the advantage again from the defensive side from PIB. Looking back onto this round, it is the map for Masters. Could we be potentially seeing a little bit of a victory? We've seen the first round 1v1 all the way pushed back down. We've had 6 kills happen in the first minute, and then we pushed it down to a 1v1. Second round was a little bit more favored to the side of PIB, where one of the players was left in a 1v4, and on the last round, they managed to secure themselves the victory. It's evolving.
It's definitely evolving.
Could we be seeing a potential improvement, especially after that long of a pause because of the unable to connect to the lobbies?
We could definitely. It depends a little bit on what they have talked through in the break, because the break was very long because of the difficulties with connection. That made granted those teams a lot of time to speak things through, maybe adjust a little bit, give them some readjustments, saying, okay, you can play that, I will play that, because I'm not feeling well of this moment. You're a little bit more aim stronger than me today, then play these in these roles. So the adjustments definitely came in. They're more aggressive. That worked pretty well for them. And alongside, PIB did maybe fall off a little bit from the type of momentum. Still, though, they're using their chances, being very aggressive, very often peeking in those 1v1 scenarios, because they're just, I would say they're very sure about themselves. They're very capable of taking those, as they're just showing us by, I'm just saying once again, we have played 3 rounds, and look, we're still already up on 6 kills once again. That guy is a pure machine, and that one is a guy that definitely Master needs to watch on, because he's damn dangerous. But once again, PIB now has made the fault of maybe underestimating Master a few times, because they let them come a little bit too close once again, and those scenarios made them pay twice already. Yes, the Cloxy fell out in round number 3. That maybe granted Master a more easier or lighter approach on the top floor, maybe also granting them to gain the upper hand. Maybe an impacting scene, but still, only 3 rounds played. We're still in that, okay, figure out zone, because we had such a long break. So I'm pretty much happy to see it. The chances for Masters definitely there, because, as I mentioned, they're feeling a lot more comfortable in this map, and you just pretty much see that straight away.
Yeah, I will completely agree with you there. You can see that they're upping their aggression. You can see that they're comfortable in taking these one-on-ones, taking these gunfights. I mean, if we look back to the first round, 6 kills happened in the first minute. We're pushed back down to 2v2 in the first minute of the round. That doesn't happen. We have not seen that on Top House to the extent what we've seen it on this map. So I'm really keen to see what they can make and how they're gonna up the aggression, how they can prove they could be throwing down a little bit of a champion here. Again, they haven't lost a single game in 11 maps now, if you count the last map on top of that. Or at least 10 matches. Yeah. But also what I can see now here, we have a Monty, and there is a little bit of a slight shield meta currently. might be.
Attackers have located the bomb.
Oh, shield meta in the place here with a Monty. The living drone, the living fortress. Oh, damn. If you come too close, or better said, if you let Monty come too close to you, he will definitely give you a swinger with his shield. And that shield, damn, that hurts. It's heavy, it's hitting hard, and it's definitely knocking you to the ground.
Gonna push you underground, and then, well, if you don't act quickly enough, it can also take you out. Now 1 minute has now passed in this round of this established quite a lot of control. This time a little bit slower, not as quick as the first round we've seen. We've taken out a lot of utility, potentially also ready here to pick up the first few fights. As we get rid of utility, getting rid of Goyo, so shields, opening up line of sight and opportunities to get kills.
Definitely opening opportunities here, but still, yes, we have brought a Monty, but Monty still needs to be a little bit more aggressive. He needs to like force movement from the defenders, like maybe mock them out of their position so his teammates can deal some damage, but doesn't work.
As we take our player, our ace falls, and now is the Hal Breacher gone, but 2 players from PIB fall on the other hand. Now we have the trade-off as we have the man advantage. And Monty, as he said, the living drone, the fortress himself, is still walking, runabout, doing the Ds and everything. As the vertical gameplay is not gonna find our advantage, as Kamikaze finds one, the shield comes around the corner, pushes you to the ground, and sends you back to the next big phase. This is another victory for Team Masters as they bring it up to a neutral scoreline 2-2.
Neutral scoreline means they have definitely improved on some points. 1 point is Monty's back on the junction cards. It's able to be picked, and damn, what a damage he did. What an impact he also were. Yes, he was used as an intel drone, like a living fortress, as I just mentioned. Moved in there. As soon as I said, I'm missing a little bit from the aggressiveness as he could bring as a Monty. Monty is like, move in, you're safe. No one can hit you as far as no one is coming close to you. And we will try to watch you. That way no one is getting close to you after all. That worked perfectly against a Master. Monty gained intel, live intel for his teammates. His teammates acted upon that. They defended the Monty. And as soon as Monty saw his chances of pushing on through and close, did that. He also gained kills himself. Perfectly executed. Maybe a little bit to improve still on the intersection because we got ourselves a very unfortunate happening there with a vertical C4 hitting a teammate. That C4 was coming in from PIB, but still the C4 maybe got also triggered because the guy from below got some distress by Team Master. It may also not work there because these guys were pretty much hugging each other without even knowing it.
What I'm seeing so far from the side of PIB, the defenses are quite strong and they're quite focused on one side, but usually we know we would be playing this setup in office with head heights on the left reinforcement. Now, all of these 4 reinforcements are closed, which takes away a lot of aggression, and this is what we've pointed out on the first map. The PIB, they have the aggression, they have the gun skill, they have everything they need. So why are they playing it close and giving so much space and room to the enemies? Because if you cut away these head rotations and head heights, you cannot swing. So the Monty doesn't need to worry about his back. He can just push up front and take the space.
I don't really much have any more things to say about that because you absolutely took the words that I would say out of my mouth. In that way, we have ourselves equal scoreline, and it's pretty much now or never for Team Master to just show a little bit more dominance, saying this is our map pick, and we will show you why this is our map pick. As once again, we have like the vertical plays that we see. The vertical plays worked perfectly well and fine for Master last round, and I definitely understand why they tend to do that one more.
The man disadvantage, that's what being left with as the Ash falls. But the Goyo charges are alive and dealing a little bit of damage, making sure that the Monty cannot push through as he's left with 4 HP. Another player falls, Monty can just stim himself up, give himself a little bit of HP, Clem is gonna find himself another kill. Now we now have the man disadvantage. Yet again from the side of Team Masters. Monty trying to do a little bit of work as he finds himself a kill. Nobody there to help and trade his teammates. This Monty is just so aggressive and making sure that he's in the heads of these enemies as the impacts come through. Not gonna quite find anyone, as we also know the impacts have been recently being completely nerfed. That's why the shield meta is so strong as he swing around the corner, finding another 2 kills, being left in a 1v2. All it takes is Clem and a gun as he takes out the last man standing. And this is Team Masters picking up another round. They had the man disadvantage as they were put in a bad position, but it didn't matter as they got the kills one after each other. Now they are on the attacking side and they secured 3 rounds, Mighty.
I'm impressed because this master that we are seeing now the past few rounds is definitely another team of masters than we saw on our first map. I like the aggression, I like the approach lines, and I definitely vouch for that Monty pick. That Monty pick changed many factors in the hands of Master. They're being more aggressive, they're feeling even more comfortable now, as if they are getting life into a thing that they had very less of in the previous map on Clubhouse. And also the pure scariness that he's bringing. I don't think, or I get the feeling of PIB is not feeling comfortable in the surroundings of a Monty. You just saw 3 guys immediately as Monty whipped in onto Piano, was only watching Monty, trying to mock him out, maybe getting him down, or just dealt with contact grenades, multiple angles. Nothing of those things worked, and Monty stood up strong, mocked them out, made them move. And what happened if Monty makes you move out? Yes, you always have another attacker watching your 6, watching the angles, and if you run on those, yeah, you're dead. And that worked perfectly fine.
Beautifully said. And now we move to the next round, and Monty's again on the board. So this player, this operator is creating so much chaos and so much trouble. Maybe this is the point where we start to think on the side of PIB, maybe we should have banned the Monty. Maybe we should have banned the shield operator, because he is a little bit of a trouble to us. We take a little bit of damage from block, but so far, not too much happened. And this is the thing that I've pointed out. They're not playing with the head hides. And all of a sudden, Mighty, they have the head hides.
These head hides are so strong just because of the angles that you can create with them. But, of course, some teams are not bringing those before it is maybe too late. Because, yes, of course, if you can make beautiful angles with those, you can also grant your opponents these angles if you don't watch them. And as we always speak about in Siege, these time lock or unlucky timings often happen and can cost you dearly. So understandable, but still I will always play with those because the surprise effect that you may get with those head holes is very often unique and also very important. Look on the build-up here for Master. The pure force and also the controlling. They do everything that they did falsely. The first approaches on these spots. Now, very aggressive, very fast, and also very calmed.
Very calm part did not quite happen as we tried to push through on the top side, but we lose 3 of our players. Monty does get a kill and a little bit of a frag, but he's being left in a 1v4 as the entire round is just crumbled apart as we try to do a little bit of an execute on the top side. But as you mentioned, you create the holes, you create the angles, but don't worry, the enemy have access to them as well. And especially as a defender, when you create those angles, you know where you stand and you know where you have to look, while the attacker, well, he has to check every single angle spot where you could be, and that definitely gives you the advantage when you create those. But with that said, we have played the 6 rounds and we are on a 3-3. We're on a tie, neutral scoreline. And now we have the switcheroo. And
we have the good old
PIB,
switcheroo.
they're not looking too strong on this map like they've done on Clubhouse.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being used by attackers.
Definitely not. May cause of the factor that they hadn't to play so many rounds in the defense of the first map, so they may not be totally in that. And also now, as they played the few rounds that they played on Clubhouse, they may be a little bit more cold now, as they are not quite focused in that. After my opinion, it may be because they're getting tired, maybe because they are exhausted after the first map. There could be multiple factors in play there, but still, we got ourselves the switcheroo in round number 6. And if we just remember back onto Clubhouse, how strong PIB was in the attack, I won't say this match is over. I don't say that this PIB is weaker than the PIB that we saw in Clubhouse, because I am afraid that Mxster now maybe said, okay, we're gaining momentum, we're gaining positives here in these attacking rounds, maybe getting a little bit ahead of themselves, and if that happens, PIB can make them pay for that. So the first 2 rounds now in their own defense will speak a lot about where this map is going to.
Exactly, let's not forget this is their map pick, so it's nothing surprising to see them have here a little bit more fight back, a little bit more power when it comes to their shots. This is the map that they decided they wanted to pick. Now Floriston is going to take out Goyo Charge, making sure that it's long before the attackers arrive close to the bomb site. But also we have operators who can take on these long angles, like for example the Doc. Also Frost can take on these long angles, giving themselves a chance to fight back on the already existing holes, which you already highlighted. That if you create those, you take and give a lot of aggression. As we try to hit the head, not quite hitting the bullet there. It's only a pixel that he was able to see the head there. Fortunately, Clem is going to find himself not being taken out as the first kill in the entirety of this round. Half the round has passed, and now the first kill falls. The trade offer is there immediately. We also need to wait as our teammate is being stimmed up all the way to 100 as we try to take the gunfight. Kamikaze is gonna put us back onto a man advantage for Team Masters. But we have also secured ourselves the spot where we could plant, and now the plant is going down. The looks of it, we are unable to deny this plant as we're planting, and now it's post-plant. The defenders become now the attackers. We tried to push through, 2 kills fall, and we leave the last and final attacker standing in a 1v3. It's all up to Benz to win this round, but the diffuser is already going down. He did have no information on that. So just swinging, said, I'm gonna trust fully my entirety of my team. I'm not gonna look back, I'm not gonna flinch a second. I know my team have my back. So I'm gonna get that round.
So that is our first post-plan clutch of the evening, and I'm pretty much happy with that. Just of the pure execution, yes, you gave them the opening of saying, okay, you can contribute to the side, you can open up the breach, and you can also may with a little bit of resistance get free access to that half wall side. We will not play against you from below into that wooden flowage meta with the C4s, but we will bring a lot of aggression meanwhile we're planting, because when you're planting, yes, you have one guy down on the planter. He could potentially fake it and stand up and make kills, but still, you have still time from his interrupting his plant, getting up on his feet into the ADS. And that ADS time takes a little bit. But for experienced players like these guys here, that is time that they may cost. And immediately the plant goes down, you lose 2 guys, or 2 guys on the planting and also on the floor, on the close end side, saying, okay, I will cover you meanwhile. There's no way for Thermite to connect back, because immediately as they 2 guys fall through the roster, the aggressiveness of Mxster comes. They say, okay, we will rush on through, cover you from front upload, because we know that the Thermite is a library. We will not grant him any chance of reconnecting back to the diffuser. You defuse and we will watch you. Perfectly done for Mxster as well. They're adapting incredibly fast, and they're definitely showing a little bit more dominance here on this map than they had on Clubhouse so far.
Runamate could be another round for them to secure victory and just run away from their enemies. Making it a 5-3, or is this going to be another neutral scoreline? PIB definitely showing that they can have weak spots, that they're not as invincible as they seemed like, and that there is a kryptonite against them. And the longer they play against, and the longer this enemy can make use of said kryptonite, it's going to be harder for them. As we're already making an establishing control onto the side of Oil and Boiler, the main breach is already opened, and they don't need to worry about boiler being open because they're playing them in rotation, so they can be quite dangerous, as the shotgun is going to play close. But other than that, there's still a lot more to go from the side of Team PIB if they want to get this victory.
But once again, just look at the pure pace PIB is still bringing. Yes, PIB is down here from the scoreline, but the aggressiveness and the pace that they bring is not slowed down a split from the last map, the previous map that we saw in Clubhouse. These executions and also this time scheduling they're doing is pretty much insane.
And so are the kills that are happening. As you just mentioned, the pace is there, the timing is there, and also just the kills are happening one by one. As now we're leaving Team Masters in a 1v4 scenario yet again for 3-man disadvantage. As we look at the main stairs, we know where this player is coming from. We're just waiting for him to walk down the stairs. We secure ourselves the equalizer yet again. We find ourselves on a neutral scoreline. 4-4. Nothing has changed too much in the past 2 rounds. But one thing hasn't. From the looks of it, this round, they seemed a lot more confident in what they wanted to do. Especially in the last round, it felt a little bit, like you've mentioned, the communication wasn't on point like on this round.
It wasn't. Definitely. May have been, as we mentioned earlier, because we had a little longer break than usual. So the momentum maybe fell off. Now they're catching themselves a little bit again. We're gaining back the aggressiveness. We also gained back the pace that they are bringing to their build-ups. And one big thing that is a big impact for them is their time scheduling. The time scheduling that they have, they know for a key fact that they only got 180 seconds, and these are used out to the prompt maximum every single round. Meanwhile, Master struggled with that in a lot of approaches, lost a lot of time in their build-ups, and also lost a lot of time in the conclusion of, okay, where are we setting our first entry? That was a big cause of, I would say, drama in their build-ups and also in their plays. That problem has been concluded as of the scoreline, I showed them. But now they really need to watch as PIB is beginning to pick up their pace that they previously had in Clubhouse. And if they gain that back completely, could be hard.
Could be neat. You've spoken about momentum quite a lot, and there's just one thing. If you have the momentum, if you dare to take the gunfights, if you have the mental gameplay under your control, and the enemies fear you more than you fear them, that can be already half of the entirety of the deed done. Because, let's be honest, as soon as you push the enemies back into that thinking, I'm not allowed to peek, the enemies are stronger, I'm afraid, that's when you see mistakes happening. That's when you see them trying to be over careful, not taking gunfights like on Clubhouse. And as soon as PIB can do the same thing and pick up the kills one by one like here and establish the dominance like on the first map, we could be seeing a little bit of a fallback. But they have the man advantage and they've secured now also offbase on that side, so there's measures, they can start the verticality, the kills are happening one by one, as we leave again another member of Team Masters in a 1v4, and it's the same member as before. Can he do it this time? This is the second chance, but he could be coming back with a victory, but unfortunately, PIB, they're not ready here to go. They're not ready to send this to a third map. If from the looks of it, this could be another round for them, as they pick up now the round advantage. 5-4, another victory, and they would be on the match point, Mighty.
We're so close onto that match point, and I just want to mention that one thing. As of round number 6, PIB began to pick up pace. Yes, they lost, and from mid-round 7, the momentum was given. They lost that one as well. In round number 8, they finally stepped up the final notch they needed. And from that point, also from round number 6, we got ourselves multiple multi-kills every single round at the hands of PIB. If we keep mention, the last 2 rounds was won by 3 players. Won by Michael in the hands of Timo and Glock. These 3 guys won 2 rounds in a row now. Yes, they may got some help with intel and also calls, but these guys have done 7 multi-kills in 2 rounds. Just of giving you a little bit more stats why the aggressiveness is not only necessary but also insanely damaging in the hands of Master.
Attackers are moving to
It's holy. You're the stats guys today. You just like having the stats. I feel like I'm the vibe caster tonight, and you're just the stats guy today.
I'm doing my book. I said I will do my book, and I'm definitely doing my book.
You're doing the book indeed. You have the statistics there ready for us. Even if when we're just starting of the stream, you had all the informations. And I'm gonna give you another information, Mighty. Another opening kill from the side of PIB just happened. As they pick up the mute, and the C4 is gone as well from the side of him. And that is another Planet now gone. Potentially only Gory has an all Planet on. If he picked up the C4, we've seen earlier that the Gory does tend to have the impacts, and he does. So no more Planet us, no nothing. All they have are the guns, and they have the man disadvantage as well, revealing our position by taking out these drones. And he's gonna be in a deadly position here. As from the looks of it, PIB, they want to make this quick, they want to take out this player. There's this Firmer just holding the long angle, waiting for him to peek around the corner. And we find a trade offer into the Flores. Back down to the 4v4. Just waiting for these enemies to peek. Flashbangs come through. Execute as well. The plan is now going down back on the site. As everybody trying to take a gunfight, denying this plan. Not gonna work out in their favor as the kill happened one by one. And now we're being left yet again in the post plans, and now we remember how it went last time. It didn't went in their favor. It's just gonna be a triple kill on the board. Back down to a 2v1. As Block secures the round for one more kill. Takes a second, and it takes the match points. And we're sending the enemies into another 2 rounds to sweat if they want to push this to an overtime.
Yeah, and once again, I need to point out the amount of multi-kills once again. Yes, nowadays it only went in the hands of PIB. They also went in the hands of Mxster, as our dear friend in the Insk got himself a triple kill with a Frost. Bring a lot of pressure and a lot of aggressiveness. That nearly worked out, but saddened, PIB is still up in that lead because of multiple angles that they're holding simultaneously, giving them the upper hand of saying, okay, even though you get our frags, we will always frag you back because there's no way for you to roam away. And that made them set up this scenario that they're not only coming back from this downland hand side, but also pushing on match point. They got 2 opportunities now before we will go to a potential overtime, and Mxster is really up for a challenge now because this won't be easy after all.
It's not going to be easy. 2 rounds. It's not impossible if you look at it. They've already secured 4 and they're in the defense, so theoretically speaking, they have the upper hand. They have and they should have the statistics from all the previous played matches and every single other competition on their side.
5 seconds left before insertion.
It does tend to be more defensive-sided map. It does tend to be more defensive-sided bomb side. But can they make it 2 rounds, 2 victories, all they need to push their map pick to an overtime and not to go out here to an 2-0? From the looks of it, PIB, they've picked up a little bit of pace, and this is exactly what I meant earlier. As soon as they get into the head of their enemies, that's when the cookie starts to crumble. And it has crumbled a little bit. But what can they do here to prevent from even further crumbling, Mighty?
They need to bake new cookies. No, there are multiple things that they need to adapt upon. They need to stand up in the first row here a little bit more. They're slowly slacking off a little bit again with this in type of their aggressiveness. They're not quite front off, and they're still getting meta very early on. As finally TJT finds his kill here, that was one of the key impacts that I wanted to mention earlier. Immediately, the time scheduling, you lose the one and only C4 guy that you had, and also the main breach gets open in the first 30 seconds. Makes it stand out that you give your opponent 150 seconds to build up on a conclusion on how to approach the site. What in our world of Siege is all the time you need and more. So Mxster needs to find a way to take more time on the clock, and also don't getting first fragged every single round simultaneously.
They've done a good job on this round not being first fragged as they take out the first operator onto Grim. That's the B-man gone. No more chaos shall be created, besides from the potential gridlock. We know there's somebody playing on that half wall. Looking forward to get this play out, so we're doing a little bit of damage, but only the side of PIB is taking damage. We know we want to plan on the exact harmful like before. We're doing the same strat like before. The only thing we've adapted is the operator lineup a little bit. We swing around the corner, we find another kill on the Frost, bring back down to a 4v4, flashbangs come through, and the execute is starting to happen. As everybody gets a kill, we know we find this player in the corner. He's just slipping through our sight, but unfortunately stands up, so we get the kill. And we back down to a 2v2 in the last 30 seconds of the entirety of this round. This could be the last round, but he's being rezzed from the dog. But unfortunately, he was not in a safe position as the timing. Trying to get the flashbangs being taken out. It's all up to one player and one player only is going to be Clem taken out. And it's going to be another round as we stay alive. PIB not able to secure this round, not able to send them home yet, and this could be the last and final round, or it could be the overtime. So I'm gonna ask you this, Mighty, like always. I've already done it, I already asked you. You said there's a chance for them to come back, there's a chance for them to win this map. It's 6-5.
Definitely. There's always a way here. Especially when you see a scoreline that is so close, and also immediately when we're calling upon things that they need to adapt on and also make a little bit better or concentrate on certain things, they immediately do. It's like that we're sitting in a DC call with Team Master and saying, these points are the things that are not going that well. These points are you doing perfectly good. Concentrate on the other points. They immediately adapt on those and do those corrections. As I said, they need to interrupt the game flow a little bit more from PIB. They need to meet them a little bit more up front, and they also need to just find the way of playing together, stand together, and also make the same thing that PIB does, figuring out multi-angles. They have followed these things through, they have set themselves upon these points, they did that, perfectly done, winning them and securing them another round. Now it is only one more round that they need to clear out and also conclude in to get themselves into an OT that would save them a lot of things, because I think that PIB is slowly slacking off because there's no more RNG left in that tank. I definitely hope for PIB that is not the case, because then it will be a dangerous run if they needed to be going to the decider map when they're out-fueled.
It's definitely going, from the looks of it, to be a long evening. So we're on a 6-5. This could be the final round, could also not be the final round. If PIB win this, that would mean a clean 2-0, but if we come back to an overtime, we could be seeing a little bit of a fight back. As you already mentioned, the possibilities are there, there's always a chance. And the chance is screaming louder than it has ever. What Team Master is now also doing different is they position themselves in a lot of different spots, and also now they've gotten the opening pick. Like you mentioned, they need to have the opening picks if they want to secure the round. And they've taken out the IQ. Starting off good.
Definitely starting off good, and once again, I said they need to interrupt the game flow, and that's the first step, getting that opening pick. Not against you, but in your own hands. Disrupting the game flow and also gaining yourself the advantage in men count. So that is the first thing of the checklist that we talked about earlier. Well done. Now we need to concentrate a little bit more on to steal time, not granting them to move freely and also open these breaches that they need or gain the key positions in their time schedule, because that is the next point on that checklist.
As we're now looking forward to open up these breaches to secure ourselves the positions that we need to do an execute. As another player falls, Glock's gonna find himself the trade offer. PIB find himself another kill. And then the man advantage is on the side of PIB as he's doing a little bit more damage to the dog, but let's not forget he can stand himself up again. He can get himself up here. And that's exactly what he's going to do, so back up to 3v2 as we are onside. Plan is now going down as well as we lose another member from the side of Team Masters. It's all down to a 2v3 as we find the planter from a cheeky angle. And another player falls, and all it takes are 2 men, and the only man we need is Ren and Kamikaze to clutch this entirety of the round as the goo is not floating for the side of PIB. There's one player standing, 20 HP, 20 seconds left on the clock. Plan has been denied and every single player of our team has died. We try to swing around the corner. We know at least one of these players
15
are.
seconds to go.
But will it be enough? We need 2 headshots. And Team Masters are playing it slow and safe as they get the most important round ever. And that is the 6-6. And we're sending it to overtime, Mighty. We're going to the overtime on our second map.
And I just, first of all, just want to say big props to Team Master. The improvements from the first match, or better said, from the first map into this map, and also the adaptations in game in this map here, are quite incredible. They are astonishing to just witness and also to call about. That way, just needing me to give them props as they're standing good. They're positioning themselves well. The team communication is on point. You just watch which angles are getting hold. They're not holding double angles double. They're holding their simultaneous angles from each and other's perspective. They're in positions to help each other out. They're watching them. They're watching each other, and they're also always about to helping each other. Like when the drop was down, immediately Frost ran upon and said, "Okay, I will watch you. Meanwhile, you heal you." Same thing is, okay, Frost said, "I will watch the breach if you watch door." Perfectly done. Like positions, perfect. Teamwork, perfect. Watching the angles from each other, very good and very well. But the main factor is they are more aggressive, they're staying aggressive, they're meeting their opponents up front, and the biggest thing of them all is they're interrupting the game for PIB in the way that's stealing off time and also disrupts, okay, where am I at? Like the IQ, I'm sure the IQ did not know that there was a pulse up there watching her.
It's going to be quick entries from them now. It comes to the point who can improve better from their mistakes than from the last run. As we all know, overtime is a different kind of team. Every time somebody's sending another team to overtime, we see new plays, we see new characteristics building and evolving. Third thing we've seen from until this point, take it from your head, throw it outside the window. Because now we're about to see is 2 teams who just want to finish off and 2 teams fighting for victory, and they know all they have is 3 rounds. So this is the point where you're not allowed to make any mistakes, where you have to play as clean as possible. And how fast can you get in the head to the opponents and get the kills one by one.
Hard, very hardly to say, because the feeling of being in OT is always something different. You don't play as freely as you did in the previous rounds. You're not playing as sure as you did in the previous rounds, because OT always means that you did many things good, but very often slacked off on important parts here and there. So that means none of these teams shall be very much happy with themselves, and especially should not be comfortable in this scenario. Because you never know what you're gonna get when you go OT. Because OT very often is about who is getting the first frags, who is holding the concentration the longest, and definitely the most important part is who keeps their distress at the lowest level.
The stress is going to be high as the flashbangs come through, so does the plant, as we have a trade-off where immediately the kills happen all over the entirety of the map, but all of them are favoring PIB, and all it takes is a plant and just guns to shoot as they take the round and take the attack and move up to another match point. Round 14. Is it going to be over, or is it going to be all the way to 15? PIB showing this round that they deserve the victory more than anything. They've improved from their mistakes, but also Masters, they've done something new this round in the past round. They had a roamer down below.
They had a roamer down below, but also that roamer not only got pinged out, he got also sounded out, and immediately he got sound called. He was immediately wallbanged down and dealt clear. That way, once again, PIB is always ready for all our alternations and always one step ahead when it's about giving the right calls and being preset in the right moments. That way, back up in the lead, and now it's definitely now or never for Team Master. If they want to do something crazy to just maybe surprise PIB, this is the time. Because if you bring something standard now, after 13 rounds played, PIB will exactly know what your game strategy is, and they will immediately disrupt that game flow, because you managed to disrupt their game flow now multiple rounds at multiple occasions, and that is now the point in round number 14 where PIB will do the exact same. Yes, they will definitely continue on playing aggressive, but they will play a little bit less aggressive, because now they just want to bring the disruption, maybe just bring some distress onto you, because now you're in the feeling that you are in the position you need to do something. You need to find the last adaptations to give you that 7-7 so you can go the full distance onto round 15.
Well, they've already done it once. They've already came up to a match point and matched the aggression from PIB. Now, as we can see, the Monty's back on the board, so he's going to create quite a lot of pressure and quite a lot of distraction. As you said, the moving fortress, moving drone. And so far, he has been a big success for the side of Team Masters, as we already established so much control in the first minute of the round, and also already opening up the breaches. And we are not on the top floor side, but rather in kitchen. So we don't need to push the top floor side. All we need is have the breach open, and we can go down and climb. The Echo drone is going to make it a little bit difficult for us. But the main key position here is we've taken out Echo the second I just talk about this operator and how good his drones are to deny this Monty. He's the first one to fall, and so is Solas as well. We're back down to a 4v4, but next few kills are happening, and all of them are favoring Team Masters. And as I said, they've done it once before, and they'll do it again.
Well, just look at the pure positionings once again, and also the rush commitment coming in from Team Master. They're playing it together, and immediately, yes, they are losing one from the long angle, but immediately as they lose one guy, they get a double refrag, and that cost is so harshly insane and useful. As Kami and both Ryan put another row of multi-kills up in this round number 14, and now we are going full distance, and because you have turned it all the way to me in the past, I'll turn to you. Are we seeing Master winning this map now in round number 15, giving us a decider, or will PIB stand up tall now once and for all in this last round?
See, I've seen so many great things from both these two teams. We've seen a lot of upsets from both these two teams. Nothing is working smoothly here, no team is perfect. But I'm convinced from the side of PIB. Also because we've seen how strong they can be. 7-1, we're sending off the first map on 7-1. This is the second map, isn't their map pick. Is not on a 7-7. I would like to lean out the window and still say the statistics speak for them. The reason they've won so many matches in a row. I'm gonna go for the Italians. I'm gonna go PIB.
And I will stick the same.
10 seconds left.
Even though it is against my prediction, because I was for the underdog team here. But
5 seconds left.
the pure line of checks here is just insane.
Attacker's objective is
And PIB does so many things correctly and right. Master is slowly adapting and making so many things good and well, and adapting every single round for round, being better and better in positions, in calls, in team play, in every single aspect. But PIB, they were always there when they were needed to. They came back, they always concluded and said, okay, we will equalize if we are needed to, and when we are intended to be forced into a losing position, we will fight our way out of that, and we will stand up tall and be in the winning side. And so that means, if they're not getting disrupted this round here, in round number 15, on the spot that they have shown that they can clearly pressurize dominance, this will go for PIB.
All it takes is a single round to push this back to the third map, which would be Border. Will they do it? And all it takes is victory. As they open and start of the round quite strong, taking out the gridlock and positioning themselves with a man advantage. As you highlighted quite often, this is what they need. They need the opening pick, and they have it now. So this is already setting them up for great success here, potential from the side of Team Masters. But there's still a long way to go. There's still 4 more players they need to kill, and unfortunately with the second, we're being back down.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Important in the hands of PIB, though, losing their strong hand man in the hands of Michael with the gridlock, locking up these roam backs. But immediately getting that refrag is very important, especially in the time scheduling, because you have still a lot of things to clear. You still have a lot of things to do to your final approach line. But if you just look, they are completely done in the upper floor, and they do what you told about earlier. You don't need to concentrate so much on top floor if you can push freely or more aggressive on downside. Is that the case?
Plan is going down, unfortunately, though. What that is happening, as we were just talking about so many things that could happen, plan is happening on the other side. Is going to be secured. C4 is not going to land anyway because this player was taken out too quickly. But the flank is happening from behind them in a 2v3. All it takes is 2 more kills in the defuse, and that would be the round. It would be the third map as we fling around the corner, not knowing somebody's outside, missing the shots. And now we are in a 2v2. But he swings out and nobody's there to save the teammate. But he is there ready to save the day. And it's not going to be a third map as the player Ferment coming along and securing the second map. PIB wanting to just push it all the way to 15 rounds to secure this victory. Lupin at the end coming in with the clutch, securing the victory a millisecond before the defuse timer happened. And I'm gonna just say this again, a millisecond before the defuse went through. It was less than a second, and that could have been the victory for Team Masters. It is very heartbreaking. It's very heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking because they worked so hard for it and they put their very last into it. And from the spreadsheet that I have in front of me here, all from the information that I've gathered from these 2 past maps, like the adaptation on how many things went so much more better on Chalet than it did on Clubhouse, especially for Team Master, it's just purely insane. They had 1 refrag on Clubhouse. Meanwhile, they had 14 immediate refrags on Chalet. Like, that's a prompt adaptation. Meanwhile, they had 1 opening frag on Clubhouse until they had 6 now. Also another thing. The amount of multi-kills ran up completely on that map. So a lot of things very well managed and done by Master. So I can just say GG, well played on that. But still, it wasn't enough for PIB, as PIB just once again shows the dominance, says, okay, now we're in a clinch position. We really need to show up for ourselves. Really need to put all of our hearts into this to make this work for us and to get that second map into our favors. And this is a very good round that they did it in, because I felt that they were slacking off. They were losing a little bit on their power, on their aggressive, and also a little bit on their pace, because they needed 1.5 minutes to conclude on their first opening frag in this last round. If so, Masters would have taken this map and we would go to the decider map, I would have been scared in the hands of PIB if we would have enough fuel in the tanks for that border map. But so that means PIB rocks it 2-0, gains themselves another 2 maps, meaning they're now up in a scoreline of 60 maps, won in a row. So I will say once for all from my side, I will say the Italians will definitely be one of the teams that we need to watch closely in the future of our ESA roster and also bracket line.
All I can say, Team Masters definitely show that PIB can bleed. They've shown that they have a kryptonite, they're not invincible, and this is the one key thing that we need to take out of this. Even though it looks like a 2-0, like a little bit of a clean sweep, it wasn't, especially the second map, all the way to 15 rounds, show that PIB, they can bleed, and they will bleed. Now, for the coming future teams, they can take notes. What did Masters do good? How can we feed these champions? Well, theoretically speaking, champions. They haven't lost in a long, very time. That's why I keep calling them a little bit of a champions. Also, it's a strong team. If we just look at it, it promises to be a good, strong team. So the earlier we can establish a little bit of a kryptonite for them, the better it's going to be for other teams to fight against them, and the less dominant it's going to be. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be it for tonight. We only had 1 match, and this was it. But don't worry, there's going to be more tomorrow. There's going to be another team playing. It's not going to be us, though. It's going to be MG Minions against Solar Esports. That's going to be the match of tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for day number 2 on the Swiss stage. Stay tuned. Have a wonderful evening. We're going to leave you guys for tonight and have a great day. Bye-bye.